Welcome to today's Explainer. We are diving into the official 2026 Rolex releases, but we're going to approach them from a completely different angle. We're skipping right past the flashy consumerism today to uncover what these pieces truly represent for the ultra-wealthy. We're talking about hard, liquid financial assets. We aren't looking at these as jewelry. We're looking at them as vibrant pillars of an alternative portfolio.
You see, to the average consumer, these watches just scream, "Look at me, I made it." They're just a flashy status symbol. But the top 1%, they play a totally different game. They look at a Rolex and see a portable insurance policy, a tangible, hard asset that fights inflation while you sleep. They know that buying the right piece isn't spending money. It's parking your wealth in a vehicle that aggressively grows. And right now, Rolex is doing something they haven't done in a generation. To celebrate the 100th anniversary of the waterproof Oyster case, they've completely rewritten their production philosophy. This isn't just a new batch of colors. This is generational scarcity. They are creating an environment where specific new purchases turn into immediate equity the very second you walk out of the boutique.
Okay, but real quick, a reality check. If buying one of these timepieces means you're eating instant ramen for the next 3 years, you need to step away from the boutique. Seriously, just walk away. We're playing the long game of high finance here. You absolutely do not sacrifice your basic financial foundation for a watch. But if you're ready to see how high finance meets high horology, let's get into it. Section 1. Let's start by building your asset ladder from the ground up, beginning with the perfect entry-level asset, the Oyster Perpetual 41 Centenary Edition. Absolutely everyone is talking about this piece right now.
The huge deal about this watch is the rare 100 years inscription sitting proudly on that slate dial. It's crafted in a stunning two-tone yellow roll sore. But the real kicker is that Rolex almost never prints commemorative text on standard dials. This is a pure emotional leverage play. The fear of missing out on this historic milestone is so intense that waitlists are already backed up deep into late 2027.
And it makes total sense when you see the retail price. It sits just under 10 grand. At $9,650. If you can actually secure this from an authorized dealer, it's an instant equity flip on the secondary market. Sure, it's an accessible luxury, but functionally, it behaves exactly like a highly coveted blue chip stock. Now, to build true generational affluence, you've got to step where the crowd is too terrified to go. Which brings us to Section 2, the Silent Flex. We're talking about the Day-Date 40, a total masterpiece of material science. This isn't your standard yellow gold, and it definitely isn't Ever Rose. This introduces a brand new, incredibly tough to refine, patented alloy called Jubilee Gold. It's a proprietary blend of yellow, gray, and pink tones paired with a shimmering green aventurine natural stone dial. Collectors are losing their minds over this because it is visually distinct from absolutely any other gold on the planet. Then you hit the price tag, $68,000. Yeah. Your financial advisor would probably scream that this is a solid down payment on a cash-flowing duplex, and they wouldn't be wrong. It really forces you to ask yourself what level of the wealth game you're actually playing. Rolex deliberately calls this an exceptional watch. It is designed for the individual who has already maxed out their compounding investments. They don't need another mortgage. They just want a sophisticated, silent flex. It acts as an immutable, physical store of value right there on your wrist. But what if your lifestyle demands something built for pure urgency and high performance? Let's move to Section 3, the Calculated Risk, featuring the massive rebirth of the Yachtmaster 2. Rolex completely overhauled this beast. They gutted the old 44mm model and built it around a brand new movement, the Caliber 4162. It features a crazy counterclockwise countdown mechanism engineered specifically for yacht racing. Add in a deep blue Cerachrome regatta bezel in pure oyster steel, and you have the ultimate weekend alpha piece. Retailing at $20,300, this is what we call a calculated risk. Historically, Yachtmasters just haven't held their value as fiercely as Submariners. But this is the very first meaningful update to the line in a decade, and that changes the math completely. Collectors are scrambling, and the gray market premiums are swelling fast. So what happens when Rolex takes its most legendary sports watch ever made and blends it with the rarest metal known to man? You get Section 4, the Apex Predator, the Roselium Daytona. This is the absolute crown jewel of 2026, a pristine mix of rugged oyster steel and ultra-precious platinum. We are talking about a flawless white enameled dial, an anthracite ceramic bezel spiked with tungsten carbide, and a totally rare exhibition sapphire caseback.
This watch is a literal golden ticket granting access to an elite tier of global collectors. The retail price is listed at $24,500, which honestly is basically a joke. Because unless your last name carries massive global weight, or you've literally dropped $500,000 on diamonds at your local boutique, your odds of walking in and getting this watch are practically zero. Seriously, try walking in off the street and asking for a Daytona. The authorized dealer will probably laugh you right out of the store. The scarcity is entirely manufactured by the brand, but the market value is incredibly real. This watch is a financial weapon, projected to command double its retail price instantly on the secondary market. Now we need to transition away from these specific pieces and look at the macro reality of your portfolio. Section 5, the real cost, opportunity versus execution. It is far too easy to fall into the trap of sinking 10 grand into a depreciating asset, or a watch your portfolio can't actually absorb yet. That is the fastest way to stay trapped in the middle class. True wealth is silent. It understands opportunity cost. You have to build your liquid capital first, so the watch becomes a reward, rather than a massive financial liability. When you break down the entire 2026 catalog, you see a really clear financial trajectory for each piece. You have the instant equity flip of the Oyster Perpetual, the immutable hold of the Jubilee Gold Day Date, the calculated risk of the Yachtmaster, and the elite scarcity of the Daytona. If purchased correctly at retail, these become vibrant, high-performing pillars of an alternative portfolio. Every single piece we've analyzed today proves one massive point. Rolex has transcended traditional manufacturing. By controlling supply so tightly and generating such fierce demand, they are operating on a totally different financial plane. They essentially act like an alternative central bank for the ultra-wealthy. But listen up, because you cannot step into this arena blind. There is a quiet, massive shift happening in the luxury watch market right now in late 2026. A massive macroeconomic bubble is forming, and it threatens to catch thousands of amateur investors completely off guard, wiping out millions in watch portfolio values overnight. Which leaves us with a pretty critical cliffhanger. Are you actually positioned to protect your capital from this upcoming collapse? I am putting together a detailed breakdown of exactly how to shield your portfolio from this market correction, and I'll be releasing that explainer next week. But before we even touch market bubbles, you have homework to do. You must master the fundamental engine of wealth. You have to understand the mathematical cheat code of compounding, weaponize it early, and build the liquid capital required to confidently stroll into a boutique and buy a Daytona in cash. The real question is, are you ready to build the kind of wealth that makes the watch itself completely irrelevant?